This is Matthew Arthur reporting for the Executive Office of the Ambazonia Governing Council. The time now is about 7:45 p.m. GMT, and about 8:45 Ambazonia time. Ahead of a highly anticipated speech tomorrow, October 1, 2020 by the leader of Ambazonia War of Independence Dr. Choayaba, the Ambazonia people have in the past 24 hours been inundated by calls and tweets from some groups and individuals, all calling for the resumption of schools in the territory of Ambazonia. The Executive Office of the AGovC has taken note of these questionable, unfortunate anti-revolutionary calls. Though the leader has announced he will speak on, among other things, the issue of schools during his Independence Day address, he has condemned any such calls. On his official Facebook page, Dr. Choayaba admonished the public posturing, lack of strategy and foresight by all who are propagating a school resumption campaign in Ambazonia. In part, the leader cautioned those individuals and groups not to turn a war for the liberation of a people into an exercise of opinions. He said opinions do not liberate. That chaos does not liberate. He however reiterated that, only a well-thought-out policy that is backed by a rock-solid strategy will liberate a people from a genocide regime like Cameroon. The following were his exactly words. My fellow Ambazonians, at the eve of our Independence Day celebrations, the arm that has benefited from chaos injected a bait to enable the narrative of the colonizer. Most of you want to turn a war for the liberation of a people into an exercise of opinions. Opinions do not liberate. Chaos does not liberate. Policy and strategy do. Who gets up in September and overturn a 4-year policy, introduce a new one to take effect in weeks? Who injects such a distraction 24 hours to our day of independence? Do you then doubt when people refer to our liberation struggle as a comedy? While one arm of the confused group is calling and campaigning for a ceasefire, totally ignoring the genocide, the other arm is campaigning for a return to school, totally ignoring the absence of peace and justice. Fellow Ambazonians, independence means independence. Cameroon will neither legislate nor administer any sector of Ambazonian society, including the foundation of its development, which is education. The stoppage of schools under Cameroon was a policy by constituted groups. It was not a liberation strategy. It was a declaration of educational independence. We did not simply decree the closure of schools. We began to work to create our own. We did not simply reject its enslaving curriculum of education. We have created ours and modeled it on a study of more than 10 of the best educational systems in the world. We did not only reject its GCE board. We have established the Ambazonia Education Board that currently oversees community schools. We are currently working on a scheme to integrate private schools within our strategy to ensure that children below the age of 18 can gradually begin to be educated. For the moment, children above the age of 18 will remain committed to the defense of our homeland. Thousands of fighters were students. We are working on a stabilization scheme in defense that will allow our soldiers take education in the morning. The strategy of Cameroon is to normalize the occupation of Ambazonia. They have tried to undermine Monday ghost towns to show the world that peace has returned. They locked up people's shops, destroyed others, but you resisted them. They created a disarmament commission to fool the world that peace has returned under their domination. That also failed. They created a bilingualism commission to fool the world that they are in charge. That failed. They held a fake national dialogue to manipulate a few enablers to legitimize their brutal rule. Today they have begun a desperate campaign about schools. When was the last time these butchers cared about your education? What was the last time they cared about our students? They don't care about your life, your security, your welfare, or your education. They want to use return to school to fool the world. We have defeated them. They should call us and surrender and leave our land. I will speak tomorrow. Independence struggles are not for the faint-hearted. That was a message from Dr. Choayaba today, September 30, 2020, as he responded to a call by some individuals and groups for a resumption of school in the territory of Ambazonia. I am Matthew Arthur reporting for the Ambazonia Governing Council on behalf of the people of Ambazonia.